Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the Crimson T and today I'll be talking about Diablo 3 Season 26, more specifically about the power level of each build for each class in terms of their solo prowess. So without further ado, let's go! I've decided to tackle this issue one class at a time so it's easier to follow in case you are only interested in one specific class. But remember that the placement of each build is based on its power level compared to the best ones across all classes. This season Barbarians get the Raker set from Eidric's Gift. This set was buffed this patch and allows for a new build to appear, Raker Boulder Toss. As the name implies, the playstyle revolves around charging around and then using weapon throw, allowing you to clear more menacing opponents with ease. The build itself is pretty good, being placed at rank A, and shares this spot with Waste Whirlwind Rend and Legacy of Dreams Armor of the Ancients. These are the best builds Barbarian has this season, nothing in tier S, but 3 options within rank A, with the Immortal King, Savage Frenzy and Might of the Earth being less powerful still. Crusader's starting set, from Eidric's Gift that is the good old Akan, and this season we have 2 variants with wildly different power levels. On one hand, we have Akan Condemn, which is pretty lacking for boss fights and relies nearly exclusively on Condemn to be your damage source, and because of that is placed in tier C, while on the other end there's the Bombardment variant, placing much higher at tier A. This one uses 2 pieces of Invoker and 2 pieces of Captain Crimson, besides the full Akan 6 pieces set bonus, and is altogether a better option if Akan is your way of life. On the other extreme of the spectrum, we have the Ages of Valor Heaven's Fury, a set I've yet to play, and Crusader is one of my favorite classes. This one is insanely strong for this season, and because of that you can expect it to be topping Crusader's Solo Great Rift charts. It gets the S tier, reflecting how powerful it really is. Besides that, there's the Legacy of Nightmares / Legacy of Dreams Bombardment, and the Invoker Thorns ranking A, while Roland's Sweep, Seeker of Light Blessed Armor and LOD Blessed Shield all place B. Demon Hunter this season has a very noticeable issue. The Eidric set, embodiment of the Marauder, is amazing both in terms of Greater Rifts and the new endgame system Echoing Nightmares, due to the way it plays and the fact that Echoing Nightmares is essentially a close-off room. However, that's all Demon Hunters have in terms of competitive options. None of the other builds are even tier A. Gears of Dreadland Hungering Arrow, Natalia Rapid Fire, Legacy of Dreams Rapid Fire and Shadow Impale are all B rank, while Unhallowed has both its versions, Multishot and Hungering Arrow, consigned to rank C. The same happens to Natalia 6 Marauder 4 Cluster Arrow and Natalia 6 Gears of Dreadful 4 Hungering Arrow. If you're a fan of playing Natalia Fan of Knives, you might have already guessed it, but this build is performing even worse than its brethren, lacking both in offensive and defensive terms. Because of that, it gets the first D rank, don't play me rank that is. Monks are doing really well this season. Their worst build is Raiment Generator, placing at C rank. Sun Wuku Lashing Tail Kick is slightly better, placing at B, while the other 2 versions of Sun Wuku, Tempest Rush and Wave of Light, are both pretty strong this season, and getting the A rank. Patterns of Justice Tempest Rush is also a very good option if you enjoy Tempest Rush, as well as Legacy of Dreams Tempest Rush, both placing at A, and that makes 3 Tempest Rush's highly competitive builds. Ultiana Exploding Palm has seen better days, and while it's not bad, it's still far from amazing, placing at B rank. Now, there are 2 builds remaining, and both are S rank. Legacy of Dreams Wave of Light is the strongest variant for both Legacy of Dreams Monk builds and Wave of Light builds, but as you can expect, requires pretty good gear. The other over-the-top build is Ina Mystic Ally, which also happens to be the starting set monks get from Eidric's Gift. While it saw some balance changes for this patch, it is still one of the best builds in the whole game, and being able to easily access its set is the cherry on top. Necromancers are all over the place during Season 26, and by that I mean their builds are spread all across every single tier, even F tier. From bottom to top we have Tragul Bloodlance at F rank, Tragul Corpse Explosion Pestilence Corpse Lance, and Legacy of Dreams Rat Mage are D rank. At C rank there's just one build, and that's LOD Death Nova. While at B you can find both Inarius builds, Corpse Explosion and Poison Scythe, as well as the only Masquerade build, this one around Bone Spear. Now for the top 3 builds Necromancers have for solo play in this season, we have Ratma Army of the Dead and Legacy of Dreams Poison Scythe at rank A. Both builds are pretty strong, but not quite as much as Legacy of Dreams Corpse Explosion. This build revolves around making the best use of your Corpse Explosion with the Close Quarters rune and blow up corpses around you. It relies heavily on knowing how to time your damage multipliers, but most builds do so, and that's nothing if not expected. Witch Doctors are one of those classes with plenty good builds to choose between. Arakir Spiders and Zunimaza's Poison Dart are both S rank, and your prime choices when it comes to raw power. Zunis even has the added benefit of being Eirik's gift for the season, making it the perfect path for early progress. Mundunugu Spirit Barrage and Legacy of Nightmares Poison Dart are the A rank options, while at B there's Elftooth Zombie Bears, Jade Harvester, Arakir Fire Bats and Legacy of Dreams Spirit Barrage. Elftooth Gargantuan is pretty unimpressive and as such gets the C rank, while Arakir Chicken is not a build to play if you value solo progress, getting the Forget Me rank. Even though Wizards only have one build worthy of S rank, and that is Legacy of Dreams Twister, they still are a very good class to play during this season, as they have the greatest amount of builds in the A rank. There's Firebird Flame Blades, as well as Firebird Explosion Blast. Vir Chantodo and Vir Reverse Archon Frozen Orb are also on the same level, and so are Legacy of Dreams Frozen Orb and Legacy of Dreams Hydra. Wizards' Eidric gift this season is Delceres Magnum Opus, one of my favorite sets to play casually, and both variants are powerful enough to go past rank B. There are Delceres Magnum Opus Twister and the Frozen Orb variant. Typhoon's Veil also has one build in B rank, and as it is to be expected, is the Hydra build. This season sees Tal Rasha Frozen Orb at C rank, which is a shadow of its former self when Tal Rasha dominated wizard builds. Meanwhile, if you want to play Meteor, your best option is Legacy of Dreams, and that's an even less powerful build at D rank. So, every class except Barbarian has at least one build in S rank, with some even having 2 options. We also see that on the opposite side of things. There's only 2 F rank builds and barely any D rank as well, leaving us with a pretty solid season, with most builds being around rank A, B and C. I'll most likely be starting with Monk because that's something I've rarely played and seems to be pretty good this season, so what better time to try it. I plan on putting some solid hours this season and mess around with most classes to have a better grasp on the current state of the game. As a thank you note, I'd like to thank Maxroll and their content creators for providing so much information regarding not just this season, but the whole Diablo 3. They have guides on basically every build present in the upper echelons of the Greater Rift ladder, and I'll be leaving a link to their page in the description down below, as well as a link to the patch notes for this season. I hope you've enjoyed this quick summary on what to expect in terms of power level from most meta builds for solo progress in Diablo 3 Season 26. If you did, remember to comment, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.